When you all cheered louder for her, it actually hurt. So, next time, please root for me instead." Those blunt words came directly from Aryna Sabalenka. She was clearly upset that the fans chose someone else over her. "I love Madrid. It is such an amazing tournament. The world's #1 ranked tennis player, owner of 3 titles in 2026, and holding a record. She is the most dominant force in women's tennis right now." She said this while winning, not while losing. Seconds after a dominant 6-1, 6-4 victory on the main court at the Caja Magica in Madrid, she had just won decisively, yet she was still trying to tell the fans how to feel. What makes that sentence so remarkable isn't just what she said, it's who she was talking about and what was happening to that player's fans. 4 days before Sabalenka spoke those viral words, both she and Alex Eala were in the same building for the 2026 World Sports Awards. Sabalenka won Sportswoman of the Year and confessed she actually wanted to disappear from that very stage. Eala walked the red carpet in a custom Filipiniana gown, designed specially by her uncle, While Eala, a beautiful beige chiffon dress paired with a pina bolero, as she spoke to the cameras. "I have always had this dream that when I finally hit a red carpet, I would wear a Filipiniana. It is a traditional Filipino formal. It's perfect. I always had this dream that on a red carpet, I'd wear a Filipiniana. This ceremony is the perfect time for it. 2 players, same ceremony, same city. One wanted to hide from the spotlight, while the other stepped right into it, proud." 2 days later, Eala stepped onto the second largest court in Madrid and completely dismantled a top 15 player. 6-3, 6-3. Philippine embassy officials were there. Filipino fans with flags and loud chants made it impossible to ignore them. And when Eala grabbed the microphone for her post-match interview, she did something that immediately went viral. She switched mid-sentence into fluent Spanish, making the crowd go wild. Her simple declaration, "I love Madrid," became the clip of the day. The tournament was officially on notice. Then, Madrid Open organizers made a decision that gave Alex Eala a very good reason to be annoyed. For her match against the 19th seed on April 24th, they dumped her on court 5, a minor court with none of the capacity or energy of the arena she had just packed. Fans who traveled to Spain just to support her found themselves physically unable to even enter the court. The tournament failed to give them a court worth packing. Eala lost 2-6, 1-6, while loudly disputing a warning. She looked directly at the umpire and told him to let her speak first. Even in defeat on a tiny court, she refused to be quiet or managed. Here is the detail that should be burned into every single frame of this sports story. While Eala's fans were being squeezed onto court 5, unable to truly surround her, Aryna Sabalenka was simultaneously playing her own match on the biggest arena at the tournament, the Manolo Santana Stadium. A full house, maximum capacity, every seat taken, yet she still found the crowd's loyalty to be insufficient. That is no coincidence. It's a portrait. Eala entered Madrid ranked 44 in the world, coming off a career high of 29, the highest any Filipino woman has ever reached in singles history. Those Filipino fans in Madrid weren't there because of a rank on a paper. They were there because of the feeling that one of their own is rewriting what is possible. While Eala, her uncle and the dress designer, said it best himself. "They call me Alex's Tito now, but I am proud of it." An entire community rallied around this lefty star. Officials put her on an outer court and expected that energy to just vanish. It didn't vanish. It redirected into the main stadium, becoming the crowd energy that Sabalenka later complained about. Consider the pattern. This wasn't the first time Sabalenka fought with the crowd in 2026. In March, she erupted at a tournament director after he suggested that late withdrawals should face ranking point deductions. It was messy. Her response was blunt. "I think it is totally ridiculous. I don't think he showed himself in the best way. His comment was just ridiculous. I'm not sure if I ever want to go back there now. For me, it's too much." The player who publicly threatened to boycott a tournament is now the one being effectively boycotted by the fans. The symmetry isn't an accident. It's the hallmark of someone so used to controlling her world that any shift in the air becomes a public grievance. Then came the Bernabeu. Madrid Open organizers built a clay court inside the iconic stadium for a viral exhibition that took over the tennis world. Rafael Nadal, Jannik Sinner, and Iga Swiatek all showed up. Nadal's toddler hit shots on clay while Florentino Perez watched from the umpire's chair. The whole world was watching. Sabalenka declined, telling reporters she wanted to focus on tennis and not on those kinds of distractions. While her rivals celebrated the sport for millions of fans, she stood alone, claiming her preparation was the priority. Maybe it was rational, but the optics were loud. Fan reactions to her comments in Madrid confirmed what everyone had been sensing. Social media posts on April 26th were brutal. Some called her terrible, saying fans should be allowed to support whoever they want. Others asked why she does this every time. You are number one in the world and the favorite in every match. People want to cheer for the underdog. Let them. One person even called her completely insufferable. You aren't the center of the WTA. Fans who showed up for Alex Eala on Court 5 when the draw gave her nothing weren't overreacting at all. They read the room early. Greg Ruseski reached the 1997 US Open final and spent 12 years inside the top 100. Now, he is one of the most precise and respected voices in British tennis commentary. He's not a fan. He's an expert. After Eala lost to Mertens on Court 5, Ruseski didn't hold back. His take on the Off Courts podcast on April 25th was incredibly direct. She is too good a player. She will figure it out. I really like her resilience. If you're a fan out there, you just have to be patient. It might take longer, but she has a great team. A former world number 4 doesn't use the word resilience lightly. In pro tennis, resilience separates the legends from those who just become a footnote in history. Ruseski wasn't just comforting fans. He was identifying a rare quality that outlasts bad draws. It outlasts bad scheduling and the pressure of carrying an entire nation's dreams on Court 5 in Madrid. Putting Alex Eala on Court 5 at the Caja Magica wasn't just a mistake. It was a sign of how tennis bosses measure star power, and they got it wrong. The Philippine embassy attended her opener. The crowd that packed the stadium on April 22nd wasn't a fluke. The Filipino diaspora community across Europe is a massive, organized force. They've formed one of the most organized fan bases the WTA Tour has ever seen. Directors are still hiding that energy on outer courts because of rankings. That's about to change. After Madrid, Eala heads to the Catalonia Open and the Italian Open, a massive WTA 1000 stage. Then comes the French Open in Paris. Every venue will face the same question Madrid failed to answer. Where do you put a player whose following dwarfs her seed? That Filipino Army isn't traveling for a vacation. They are there because she is there. Meanwhile, Sabalenka faces Naomi Osaka on April 27th. Osaka has her own massive continental fan base. If the Caja Magica crowd leans toward Osaka the same way they supported Eala's run, Sabalenka will have her answer soon. She'll know if Madrid is actually disloyal or if she's just been asking the wrong questions all season. The loss to Mertens wasn't a close fight. It was a dominant 6-2, 6-1 defeat. It happened on the smallest court available. Eala didn't make excuses, but she didn't just fade away. She's still fighting in doubles alongside Zeynep Sonmez against the tournament's number 2 seeds. During the second set, she stood at the umpire's chair. Instead of taking a warning silently, she looked the official in the eye and said, "First of all, please let me speak." On a minor court in a tough match, she demanded to be heard. That isn't just about being tough. It's about her identity. She wore a Filipinana on the red carpet to honor her roots. 4 days later, on Court 5, that nod became an insistence. A gown at the Laureus Awards, a packed stadium on a Tuesday, an embassy delegation in the stands, a viral interview and a crowd that followed her energy to the outer courts. She took over the whole complex. The world number 1 felt that energy from the main stadium and tried to take it back. Here is the one thing that the scoreline on Court 5 cannot explain. Eala lost the match, but the story is her fans. Sabalenka won her match, but the story is her complaint. That tells you everything about real crowd power. Loyalty that crosses borders and moves embassies isn't a prize the tournament can just hand out. No marketing team manufactured this. It was built by a community that decided, long before the rankings mattered, that Alex Eala was worth crossing an ocean for. Every person in Madrid, flags out and embassy badges on, saw something the officials missed. The world is finally catching up to what you already knew. Picture what happens when she steps onto the clay at Roland Garros, her second Grand Slam main draw, and a massive Filipino army fills the stands of a stadium that actually fits them. Drop your prediction below. This story is far from finished. To witness the next chapter, from the Italian Open to Roland Garros and beyond, you need to subscribe right now. These are the stories that deserve to be told in full, not buried on some backcourt.